Ethan loved taking the last train home. The near-empty car, the rhythmic clatter of wheels on tracks, it was his moment of peace after long shifts at the diner. Tonight was no different. He stepped onto the train at 12:47 a.m., choosing his usual seat near the window. Only a handful of passengers were scattered across the car, heads down, lost in their own worlds. The fluorescent lights flickered slightly as the train lurched forward. A few stops later, a woman entered. She wore an old-fashioned dress, something from decades ago, and her pale face was hidden behind a curtain of jet-black hair. She moved stiffly, as if her joints barely worked, and took the seat directly across from Ethan. He shifted uncomfortably. The train was nearly empty. Why sit there? He stole a glance at her. Her hands, folded in her lap, were unnaturally long and thin, fingers too sharp at the tips. She didn't move, didn't even seem to breathe. Ethan turned his gaze back to the window, watching the dark tunnels blur past. When he glanced back, his stomach dropped. The woman was closer, not just leaning in, her whole body had shifted forward as if she had glided an inch toward him. His heart pounded. He hadn't heard her move. He cleared his throat, forcing out a nervous chuckle. Long night?" No response. The train rumbled through another station without stopping. The lights flickered again, longer this time. When they stabilized, Ethan's breath caught in his throat. The woman was now sitting directly beside him. His pulse hammered. He hadn't blinked. He would have seen her move. A faint, icy breath brushed his ear. "You took my seat." Ethan's body locked up. He turned his head ever so slightly, and saw her face. Or what should have been a face. Instead, there was only a gaping black void. The lights went out. The train screeched to a stop. When the conductor walked through minutes later, the car was empty, except for one thing. A single old-fashioned dress, neatly folded on Ethan's seat.